What if I told you that the airline meal sitting in front of you right now contains ingredients that would make you physically sick if you knew what they were? What if everything airlines tell you about food safety and freshness is a constructed lie designed to hide one of the aviation industry's darkest secrets? Today, we're exposing the shocking truth about airline food that industry insiders have been desperately trying to keep hidden. From revolting production facilities to dangerous cost-cutting measures, from chemical additives that alter your taste buds to hygiene practices that would shut down any restaurant, we're pulling back the curtain on an industry that puts profits over passenger health. This investigation includes testimony from former airline catering employees, leaked internal documents, and health inspection reports that airlines never wanted you to see. Some of these revelations are so disturbing that airline executives have spent millions trying to bury them. By the end of this video, you'll never look at airline food the same way again. You might never eat it again, period. So hit that subscribe, because this expose will change everything you thought you knew about flying. And let's dive into the dark truth about airline food that could literally save your health. Number 1, the 10-hour rule. That fresh meal they just served you, it was prepared between 6 to 10 hours ago, sometimes even longer. Airlines want you to believe your food is made fresh, but the reality is a logistical nightmare that prioritizes convenience over safety. Here's how it really works. Massive catering facilities prepare thousands of meals in industrial batches during overnight shifts. Your chicken dinner was cooked at 2 a.m., then stored in refrigerated trucks, transported across the city, loaded onto your plane, and finally reheated in those tiny galley ovens that barely reach proper temperatures. The 10-hour rule isn't about food safety, it's about cost efficiency. Airlines discovered they could maximize profits by preparing food as far in advance as possible while staying just within legal food safety limits. Former catering employees reveal that meals regularly sit for the full 10 hours, regardless of temperature fluctuations during transport. The result? You're eating food that's been in various stages of cooling and reheating for nearly half a day. Any restaurant following these practices would be shut down immediately by health inspectors. Number 2, the taste bud manipulation conspiracy. Airlines don't just serve you food, they deliberately manipulate your sense of taste to hide the fact that their meals are actually bland, overprocessed, and nutritionally empty. This isn't accidental. It's a calculated strategy developed by food scientists. At 35,000 feet, your taste buds lose up to 30% of their sensitivity due to cabin pressure and dry air. Airlines know this, so instead of improving food quality, they dump massive amounts of salt, sugar, and artificial flavor enhancers into everything. We're talking sodium levels that would be considered dangerous at ground level. But here's the sinister part. Airlines use this altitude excuse to justify adding chemical flavor enhancers that would never be acceptable in restaurants. MSG, umami compounds, and synthetic taste amplifiers are standard ingredients. They're literally drugging your taste buds to make substandard food seem palatable. Internal catering documents reveal that airlines spend more money on flavor chemicals than on actual fresh ingredients. Your gourmet first-class meal has the same base ingredients as economy, it just has more expensive flavor manipulation. Number 3, the cross-contamination nightmare. Airline catering facilities handle food allergies and dietary restrictions with shocking negligence that could literally kill passengers. Despite claims about careful handling, the reality is a disaster waiting to happen. Former employees report that vegetarian, kosher, halal, and allergy-free meals are often prepared on the same equipment as regular meals, with only basic rinsing between batches. The gluten-free meal you ordered? It was likely prepared on surfaces that processed wheat products just minutes earlier. Here's what airlines don't want you to know. Special dietary meals are often just regular meals with ingredients removed or substituted, not prepared in dedicated facilities. A kosher meal might be regular chicken with kosher seasoning, prepared on equipment that handled pork products earlier that day. The most disturbing revelation comes from health inspection reports that airlines successfully keep confidential. Multiple facilities have been cited for cross-contamination violations, but passengers are never informed. Airlines pay fines and continue operating because grounding catering operations would cost millions in flight delays. Passengers with severe allergies are essentially playing Russian roulette every time they trust airline food preparation protocols. Number 4. The hygiene horror stories. If you knew what airline catering facilities actually looked like behind closed doors, you'd bring your own food for every flight. Former employees describe conditions that would horrify any health inspector, but airlines maintain strict secrecy around their food preparation areas. Leaked health inspection reports reveal shocking violations. Rodent droppings found near food preparation areas, employees not washing hands between handling different ingredients, and refrigeration units that regularly fail to maintain safe temperatures. One major airline's catering facility was cited for having dead insects in food storage areas and continued operating the next day. But the most disturbing aspect is the attitude toward cleanliness. Former employees report being pressured to work quickly rather than sanitarily. Equipment cleaning schedules are often skipped when flights are delayed, meaning the same unwashed equipment prepares meals for multiple flights. Airlines argue that their catering partners are separately inspected and regulated, but this is a deliberate shell game. When violations occur, airlines claim they're not responsible because catering is outsourced. When passengers get sick, catering companies claim they followed airline specifications. The truth is that both parties benefit from this accountability vacuum, while passengers bear all the health risks. Number 5. The recycling scandal. Airlines have a dirty secret about what happens to unopened food items from flights. They're often reused on subsequent flights, despite health regulations that should prevent this practice. This isn't just about saving money, it's about a systematic disregard for food safety protocols. Former catering employees reveal that sealed items like crackers, nuts, and packaged desserts are routinely collected from planes and redistributed to other flights if they appear unopened. But here's the problem. These items have been exposed to cabin pressure changes, temperature fluctuations, and handling by dozens of passengers and crew members. Even more disturbing is the practice with partially used ingredients. Unused portions of prepared meals are sometimes reprocessed into new dishes for economy class passengers. That gourmet sauce from first class might become tomorrow's economy seasoning. Airlines defend this by claiming they only reuse items that meet safety standards, but internal documents show that these standards are flexible and profit-driven. The question isn't whether items can be safely reused, it's whether passengers deserve fresh food instead of recycled leftovers from previous flights. Number 6. The chemical preservative overload. Your airline meal contains more chemical preservatives than any food item you'd find in a regular grocery store, and airlines deliberately hide this information from passengers. The reason is simple. Airline food needs to survive extreme conditions while maintaining the appearance of freshness. Chemical preservatives in airline food include compounds that are banned in many countries but legal in international airspace. We're talking about sulfites, nitrates, and synthetic antioxidants at levels that would require warning labels in restaurants. These chemicals don't just preserve food, they alter its cellular structure and nutritional content. But here's what's truly alarming. Airlines aren't required to disclose these preservatives to passengers because aviation food falls under different regulations than restaurant food. You have no idea what chemicals you're consuming, even if you have known sensitivities or allergies to these substances. The goal wasn't food safety, it was extending shelf life to reduce waste and increase profits. Number 7. The temperature danger zone. Airlines routinely serve food that has spent dangerous amounts of time in what food safety experts call the temperature danger zone, between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, where bacteria multiply rapidly. This isn't occasional oversight, it's systematic negligence. Here's the timeline that airlines don't want you to know. Your meal is cooked, then rapidly cooled for transport. During loading, it sits at ambient temperature while ground crews handle other cargo, stored in compartments that may not maintain consistent refrigeration. Finally, it's reheated in convection ovens that often don't reach proper internal temperatures. Former flight attendants report being trained to serve food regardless of weather. It feels properly heated because admitting temperature problems would require explaining the entire broken system to passengers. They're instructed to apologize for uneven heating rather than acknowledge safety concerns. The most shocking revelation comes from internal airline communications, showing that executives know about temperature control failures, but consider food poisoning incidents an acceptable cost of doing business. They've calculated that occasional passenger illness costs less than overhauling their food safety systems. Every time you eat airline food, you're participating in a temperature safety gamble that no restaurant would dare attempt. Number 8. The water contamination cover-up. The water used to prepare your airline food often comes from the same contaminated aircraft water systems that health authorities have repeatedly warned passengers to avoid. This connection is deliberately hidden because it would expose the scope of airline water safety failures. Studies have found E. coli, coliform bacteria, and other harmful microorganisms in airline water systems, yet this same water is used to cook rice, prepare coffee, and wash vegetables for in-flight meals. Airlines claim they use bottled water for food preparation, but former employees reveal this is only partially true for premium cabin meals. The water used to steam vegetables, cook pasta, and prepare hot beverages often comes directly from aircraft, tanks that are rarely cleaned and even more rarely tested for contamination. These tanks can harbor bacteria for months between cleanings, creating a perfect breeding ground for foodborne illnesses. Most disturbing is that airlines have known about water contamination issues for years, but continue using questionable water, because switching to exclusively bottled water would dramatically increase catering costs. They've chosen profits over passenger health, betting that most people won't connect their post-flight illness to contaminated water in their airline. Number 9. The allergen Russian roulette. Airlines' handling of food allergies is so dangerously inadequate that they're essentially playing Russian roulette with passengers' lives. Despite public assurances about allergy protocols, behind the scenes is chaotic and potentially deadly. Special dietary meals are often prepared by minimum wage workers with minimal training about cross-contamination. The same gloves that handle peanut products might prepare your nut-free meal minutes later. Equipment cleaning between allergen-specific meals is often rushed or skipped entirely when catering facilities face time pressure. Airlines don't maintain comprehensive allergen tracking systems. If you have a severe allergy and become ill after eating airline food, proving the source of contamination is nearly impossible because ingredients and preparation methods aren't properly documented. Former catering supervisors report being instructed to prioritize speed over safety when preparing special dietary meals. The attitude is that allergen-free meals are a customer service gesture, not a medical necessity. This casual approach to potentially life-threatening allergies shows how little airlines value passenger safety compared to operational efficiency. Number 10. The meat quality nightmare. The meat served on airlines comes from sources that would shock you if you knew their origins and quality standards. Airlines prioritize the cheapest possible protein sources, often accepting meat that restaurants would reject outright. Industry insiders reveal that airline meat often comes from animals that were close to expiration when processed, mechanically separated proteins that contain bone fragments and connective tissue, and reconstituted meat products that are formed into appealing shapes using binding agents and chemicals. That grilled chicken breast you're eating? It's likely mechanically deboned chicken scraps pressed together with sodium phosphates and formed into breast-like shapes. The beef in your economy meal might be a combination of various cow parts, including organs, that have been processed into a uniform texture. But the most disturbing aspect is the antibiotic and hormone content. Airline meat suppliers are allowed to use growth hormones and antibiotics that are banned for human consumption in many countries because international aviation food falls under different regulatory standards. Airlines defend these practices by claiming their meat meets minimum safety standards, but they never mention that minimum means accepting quality levels that most consumers would consider unacceptable if they were fully informed about the sourcing and processing methods. Number 11. The nutritional deception. Airlines deliberately mislead passengers about the nutritional content of their meals, using accounting tricks and serving size manipulations that would be illegal in restaurant settings. This isn't just poor nutrition, It's systematic deception about what you're actually consuming. Menu descriptions like fresh seasonal vegetables might refer to frozen vegetable medleys that have been stored for months. Grilled items are often pre-cooked in industrial ovens and marked with fake grill lines. Premium ingredients frequently means the cheapest available options that can legally be described with appealing adjectives. But here's the real scandal. Airlines calculate nutritional information based on ideal preparation conditions that never exist in reality. The sodium content listed doesn't include the extra salt added during reheating. Vegetable nutritional values assume fresh preparation, not the vitamin-depleted reality of multiple heating cycles. Former airline nutritionists report being pressured to present meals as healthier than they actually are, using creative serving, size calculations, and omitting ingredients that would reveal the true nutritional poverty of airline food. The goal is creating an illusion of healthy eating while serving nutritionally barren processed food at premium prices. There you have it. From dangerous preparation practices to deliberate health deceptions, from contaminated water to expired ingredients, you now know why your gut instinct about airline food was probably correct. The airline industry has spent decades perfecting a system that prioritizes profits over passenger health while maintaining plausible deniability when things go wrong. They're counting on passengers remaining ignorant about these practices so they can continue serving substandard food at premium prices. But knowledge is power, and now you're armed with information that can protect your health and save your money. Next time you fly, you'll know exactly why experienced travelers always bring their own food. Make sure to subscribe because next week, we're exposing the shocking truth about airline cabin air quality that will make you question everything about flight safety. Which food secret disgusted you the most? Drop a comment below and share your own airline food horror stories. Until next time, fly smart and eat safer.